was knee-deep in reports when my phone vibrated. My mother's name, Susan, lit up the screen and a familiar unease twisted in my gut. My family rarely called. Texts were their style, usually asking for a quick loan. "Hello," I answered, keeping my tone neutral despite the suspicion creeping in. "Jenny, sweetheart." Susan's voice was faint, almost a murmur. "I'm not doing well, dear. I've been so weak and my heart's been racing. Your dad's always at the office and I'm alone here." She paused, her breathing unsteady. "I need you, Jenny. I need your help." My mind shifted into overdrive. "What about Sarah?" I asked, referring to my older sister, the family's golden child. Susan sighed, the sound crackling through the line. "Sarah's swamped with her 2 kids. She can't possibly look after me right now." I chewed my lip. Of course, Sarah was too busy, always too busy unless it suited her. "Please, Jenny," Susan's voice broke. "Can you come home? Just for a week until I'm back on my feet. I wouldn't ask if I wasn't desperate." I glanced at my laptop, deadlines looming, meetings stacked, and my boss relying on me. My leave wasn't planned for weeks, but how do you say no to a sick mother? "I'll fly out tomorrow," I said, already mentally rearranging my life. "Thank you, darling," Susan replied, her voice suddenly steadier. "You're always so reliable." Reliable Jenny, the family's fallback. After hanging up, I marched to my boss's office. "Mark, got a sec. My mom's ill and dad's working. I need to go home for a week." Mark raised an eyebrow. "The Thompson Project, your presentations." "I know, I'm sorry, it's an emergency." He nodded after a pause. "Family first, we'll handle it, take the week." Back at my desk, I booked a flight to my hometown across the country. I hadn't been back in 3 years. No invites for holidays, no birthday calls, just occasional messages asking for money. That night, I packed a bag and set my alarm. I lived alone in a small East Coast apartment, as far from my family as I could get without leaving the country. It wasn't by chance. The flight was smooth, and the cab ride from the airport to my parents' house was unremarkable. Their neighborhood hadn't changed, neat yards, picket fences, kids' bikes in driveways. Their modest brick house looked weathered, the paint peeling slightly. I knocked, my stomach tight with worry. The door flew open, and there was Susan, looking perfectly healthy. Her hair was styled, her nails polished, and she wore a bright scarf that matched her skirt. "Mom," I stood rooted to the porch. "Are you okay?" "Jenny, you're here." She pulled me inside with a grin. "Surprise, your health. You said you were sick." She laughed, brushing it off. "Oh, just a little white lie to get you home. Come in." My suitcase still in hand, I followed her into the living room where my father, Robert, lounged in an armchair reading a magazine. Sarah, her husband Greg, and their kids, Liam and Sophie, were sprawled on the couch. I barely knew the kids. I'd only met them a few times. "Jenny," Sarah beamed, her smile cold. "You actually came." "Hey kid," Robert said, barely looking up. "What's going on?" I asked, my eyes darting between them. "Mom said she was sick." "We're going on a trip," Susan chirped. "A week in Hawaii. We've been planning it forever and we need someone to watch the kids." The truth hit like a slap. "You lied about being sick so I'd fly across the country to babysit." "Don't be so dramatic," Sarah snapped. "Your job isn't that big a deal, no one will miss you." My cheeks burned. "I took emergency leave, I have deadlines." "This is what families do," Susan said sternly. "We pitch in. Sarah and Greg need a break, and your father and I haven't had a proper vacation in years." I looked at their faces, expectant, shameless, not a hint of remorse. These people, my family, had deceived me, manipulated me, and now expected me to comply. I could have erupted, could have shouted what I thought of their scheme, but something stopped me, a spark of clarity.
For complete story, follow the given link below. Please like and subscribe Meesha's Quest Tales for new stories.